Welcome back to Paddy's Golf Tips. I've got a new training aid here by SuperSpeed Golf Force Board Pro. And this is going to help us with the in thing at the moment, ground force reactions. You don't have to have this, but it does help. And I'm going to show a few things that it does, okay? So in the golf swing, right, we're looking to put pressure in the ground so that it comes back up into the body and then that gets thrown into the club head, right? So it's ground pressure back into the body early enough that then it has time to release out to the club head. So that's basically what ground force reaction is. So what I like about this is, one, once you know your setup positions, it's pretty consistent. You can go back day after day. You can do it before your practice session. You can do it during your practice session, and you'll know your positions. There's been force pedals that are good, but they obviously move around and things can change. So let's talk about the basic positions that we would get in force. So I have set this up. So I've got one that's going to go right under my heel, right, for this moment. So as I swing back, I want to push as hard as I can into the ground, my heel there. That will stabilize my leg, okay? My foot kind of grips, but I'm pushing as hard as I can down there, very early on. So literally from this point here, I'm starting to push hard into the ground and I'm pushing that way. So, sorry, I'm pushing that way and I'm being forced this way, okay? So from this point on, I'm pushing, okay? Now I will actually practice with it on the side. So a little bit of that is exposed, that pedal there, because when I go back, now it's even harder. I'm being thrown this way and I don't want to go that way at all. I want to keep that pressure here, keep pushing. So if that foot wasn't there, I would go that way. So that's exactly when I take the club back, I'd be going that way. Literally, I'm getting pushed from very early on, from about, there's a shift, I'm pushing hard in there, and then this pressure is pushing me forward. The left foot, we go to the opposite side in the left foot. So again, we want to be pushing into the ball of the left foot, okay? Right into the ball of left foot, the front part ball. We want to keep as much contact pressure there. And as you see, if I push in, I'm getting thrown, the hip gets thrown back up. So I'm not just straightening my leg, because that would have no pressure down there. I'm not just spinning, that's terrible. I'm pushing my hip back, my knee back, my quad back. Everything is getting drawn back, and that's what opens you up. Again, I'm going to do it slightly on the outside. So again, it's encouraging me to go that way, so I have to resist that. So very simply, square that one up, push, just like so. Okay, I think I can get a little bit better through that one. Okay. So there, see, the setup is very consistent, and then very nice. So again, trying to get that resistance so I don't roll. I really like the ease of this, how it works. Again, this is just making your life easy. Yes, you can figure this out yourself at home. You can figure out pushing your heel. Now, I'm not saying pushing your heel and get your foot going up in the air. It's not a question of you going like this. It's you're pushing down, so that pressure is going to throw you this way. So you're pushing out and down, going to throw you this way. And again, on the left-hand side, you're pushing in and you're trying to get that rebound effect. And you'll see when you go flat out, you'll actually have sometimes a bit of spin back off it, okay? But that's created by that push. Lovely positions, but this board adds more. Yes, there is more to Paddy's Golf Tips today. So there's a couple of extra little tricks with this one, which I particularly like. So there's two things that you see happening in a lot of golfers, right? So if you're the guy who hangs back and you get stuck on this right side, a good way to practice is practice off an upslope. So if you can find an upslope on your practice ground, great. It's a good way to practice, because if you're stuck on the upslope, you're going to have to work really hard to get that right side through, or else you're going to flip it over your corner. So with this, very simply, no change to the pressure pads. We're going to put two of these in to create our upslope, just like so. So that I'm going to switch down here to an iron just to make it a little easier on my teeing up. So now I'm on an iron, same positions. I know I was on a wood there, so yeah, I'm okay with it here. So again, I'm going to have to work really hard to get myself up and through that. So if you're a guy who hangs back and kind of getting stuck on this right foot, this is going to make it harder. And again, sometimes harder is good for you. I'm not that guy. I'm actually a guy who goes a little bit too much lateral. So I'm going to slip these out. As I said, pretty easy to operate here. I'm going to flip them over the far side. Now, I like a downslope. So in this Paddy's golf tips, this for me really works well. Now, what I like about it is I practice sometimes on a downslope, but if you practice on a downslope, the ball's on a downslope, it affects a lot of ball dynamics because you're changing the angle of attack, changing the lie, all sorts of things. Whereas I'm on a downslope now, but the club's not going to change where the ball is. So this is set up properly. Now what happens, what's good about this, and this is really a good Paddy's golf tip, because I suppose I think it is because it's relevant to me. If you're a guy who gets the knees going, driving too far, too much lateral, that little dip, if you're a dipper, well, on a downslope, you're not going to dip. You're actually going to go, oh, I don't want to go down. And you're going to automatically push yourself back up. So it's a really, this was great for my ball striker. It's a really great way of getting that left leg to post up, not to go too much lateral. I'm still going to do my pushes. So just like so. So I get a much tighter, that's still trying to push in, and this is rotating in against itself. And as you can see, I get a much greater, well, I have to work harder to get my left leg to post up and straighten. So pressure, like so. So that really helps you, stops you from being that leg driver, being overly lateral with your legs, losing height. You're going to post up better. Really like that one. There's plenty of other things you can do on this force board, and we'll cover them in another Paddy's golf tips. But those three are my favorite. Pressure in the foot, here, here, pushing back up. Downslope helps me because I'm afraid of going too much this way, so I'm going to do the opposite. And of course, as I said, if you're the other person that doesn't get through your shots, hangs back, well, practicing on an upslope makes it difficult, and will hopefully encourage you to get that right side through.